What?
What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? You're currently tuning into the unbeatable CultPop Podcast, episode 13, but legacy numbering
814.
You beat me to it.
a show where we're going to talk about movies and TV and what else?
Games and comics.
And what else?
Friendship.
And news.
News.
And all those things that scratch your nerdy itch. We're coming to you live from the Maniunk Studios, Philadelphia's premier production spot. This is our home. That's my piddle corner. I called it. I'm your smelly host, says the what's this thing called?
The slide.
The slide. The slide calls me a smelly host. Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street. It's a dope-ass spot that sells dope-ass comics to dope-ass folks like yourselves. With me tonight are Brian Lee.
Hi.
And Len the Bat Tribble.
What's up? Holla at your boy.
And
What's the deal? It's your man, our son, the voice of reason, the super triple in the building. What up, go Birds?
also with me this week is producer Terry.
Hi, Terry.
We can't
He
hear
didn't
him.
Say hi. So you're not missing anything.
If there is anything wrong with the show, remember, it's...
Oh, he was working.
Yeah, idiot.
Producing, I bet.
Ugh. We're at the top of the show, and this is the time where I'm going to say like, comment, subscribe.
Do all those things.
Tickle your neighbor's taint, whatever it is that the internet wants you to do, you do it. I'm not here to...
That's not good advice.
I'm not here to...
Well, it's not bad advice.
Pipe up in the chat down below. Send us emails. We do have an email from Christine Saucy Goodnight, but we got a quick one. We got to break forth at exactly 9 o'clock, so we're going to blow through it, and we'll get to your email next time.
We promise, Chris, next week. Next week.
Now, the thumbnail that brought you here, my beautiful design work, the thumbnail, says that we were going to talk about Legion of Superheroes, which is an animated film that just released yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us did our homework and watched the film, except for Len the Bat Tribble.
I didn't watch the movie.
So
I
we're
didn't know
not
he was doing that. I watched the movie.
right.
Yeah, you just happened to.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel bad, but JD told me that we were going to be talking about 5G today. So that's what I prepped for.
So that's what we're going to talk about.
And you did a lot of prep for this, Len?
I
You took
did. I did a lot of prep on the way to the studio.
We'll find out.
I sure did.
You prepped for me to read the stuff to you and then for you to react. You practiced your reactions.
I practiced.
So give us.
Let's
give
see
us
one
a
now.
sample.
Wow, that's
Give-
5G.
Yeah, nice. So we're going to be talking about the DC universe that wasn't. What is 5G? I will tell you now. In late 2019, plans were underway to launch what would become the new status quo of DC Comics post-death metal. Stories were already in production. Howsoever, with the removal of EIC Dan DiDio and the pandemic, you might have heard of it, plans for those ambitious changes were scrapped. Some were scrapped, some were salvaged as future state, and some will never see the light of day.
Never.
Today, we're going to walk through them and discuss the DC stories that could have been. You guys ready?
Give it to me.
This is like the Elseworlds that could have been.
Yeah. You know, to be
And
fair,
it may one day be.
I would be down with a lot of these being Elseworlds, actually. So, all right, we got a list of them. We're going to blow through them. Here we go. Post-death metal status quo. Many heroes in the DC universe are aged up to align with the idea that everything matters / happened.
Yes.
So we had all of the crises. We had hyper time. We had all the other rigmaroles that was going on for the past 75, 80?
80
80
years.
plus.
80 years
85,
of
85,
DC
85,
universe.
right?
When
Yeah. Because Superman will be
38.
85.
Superman be
Yeah.
85 this year, yep.
So the idea was to age up the characters and then bring in, the younger characters. So
Right,
Batman and Superman are now going to be in their 60s, and Wonder Woman is considered the first superhero having surfaced in the 1940s to inspire the JSA. So
That's
they sort of retconned that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Other characters are then aged up a bit as well for the same reason. If you're thinking Damian is now around 16, Jonathan Kent is around 18 to 19 for the same reason as before. And then Wonder Woman, dead.
It's gone.
Dead.
Oh.
Is she dead or is she gone at this point? Like no longer being Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
I understood that to be dead.
Okay.
Fair.
Fair.
All right.
Fair.
And then-
well, I don't think it's fair, but okay.
No.
I hear it.
Yeah.
Inappropriate, really.
She's been around for 60 years or 80 years.
Well, it easily still could have turned out, even if she seemed to be dead in the beginning, that she was off on some mythical journey.
Yeah.
That's
She
true.
would
Yeah.
turned up.
Yeah.
She would turned up eventually.
Yeah.
And she's Wonder Woman. She was Amazon. Like, 60 years is like,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Are they immortal? Is she immortal?
I don't think they're immortal, but they're long-lived.
Yeah, extraordinarily long lived.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she may be, even if they're not.
That's what
like,
happens
she's-
when there aren't men.
women
Women
live
just live
nearly
It's
forever.
just like,
happier and longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So also, weekly comics were going to return. A weekly series exploring the DC universe during the time of shifting eras called The Last Call.
Last call.
With a creative team of Brian Michael Bendis, Matt Fraction, Greg Rucka, and Kelly Sue DeConnick.
It's a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good list. I would have repped that.
Yeah, right?
I definitely would have repped that.
Well, how do you feel? I mean, I know we're going to go through you want to go through everything?
No. Please feel free to.
Well, I'm just wondering, how do you feel about the whole idea of Batman and Superman being aged up? Because as I read on the timeline on the way here,
Yeah.
Superman would have actually, like, the rocket would have landed in 1938. So he actually would have been, doesn't become Superman until like about the 60s, which is when Batman would have been.
Mhm.
And I actually really like that. I
love
love
it.
that idea.
We
man.
have talked about this on the podcast so many times. I am a big proponent of legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I 100%. Y'all remember when Bruce died?
Yes.
He got Omega beamed or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then Dick took over the Batman cowl, and then Damian was Robin.
Yeah, man.
They
That
could have
was,
just kept that
That
going.
was some good
I
stuff.
was at the time. I was like, I don't need any more Bruce Wayne. I am good.
Yes.
So, aging up Superman, and just like they did with Jay Garrick and the Wildcat, the Justice Society, right?
Exactly.
I'm totally fine with that. I wish they had done that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have bothered me if they aged Bruce, because Bruce is human,
That's
right?
a good point.
Right.
and
Good point.
Superman just aged slower. Like, because in most of the
Okay,
most
I
of the
hear you on
various
that one.
most of the, continuities, he just ages slower.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a little gray at the
A
temples.
little gray at the temples.
then-
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
although
Comey.
I will say my personal favorite was Superman Batman Generations.
By John
Oh,
Burns.
Long gray-haired
I
Superman.
knew you would like that.
Loved it.
I
It was
Loved
awful.
it. No, that book
What?
was
Awful.
that book started off great.
The book started off great. And then
and
about
then-
the third iteration,
Oh
it was
man,
trash.
they went. As a matter of fact, it got so bad. Len had the omnibus and gave it to me. He was like, I don't want this
You
anymore.
know what? I don't even want this in my home.
I said, take this out of my
He
house.
was like, it's stinking up my house.
He tried to put it in my piddle corner, but
Yeah, it
luckily
was-
you got a hold of it.
Yeah, it was.
The P wouldn't hit it.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea of, and they even figured it out with Bruce, a way for him to not age as much. Like
He got a Lazarus.
He got
pit.
Lazarus
yeah, he got
pit.
Lazarus Pit
Yeah.
and took over as the sort of Ra's al
Ra's al
Ghul. Sort of,
Ghul.
that was actually very cool stuff.
No,
cool.
that would see. That's the end of the
That's
second.
cool.
That's the
Yeah,
end of the second book.
The second iteration
That's
of it.
when it
I
was
gotta let
good.
you hold that to read it
Okay,
because
okay.
they do a lot. They do a whole lot.
Yeah.
And like they're both of their kids are like involved in various wars. Like Superman's son goes to Vietnam, and it's wild. It's
Nice.
wild.
Yeah.
And then they went a little bit too far with
Yeah.
it.
He just went. He went crazy.
But it was dope. It was dope.
Mark Atkins in the chat saying, "What up, everybody?" Everyone say hi to Mark.
Hey,
Merc.
Mark.
And Christopher Goodnight, of course, is complaining. He arrived late and wonders which of my emails JD will ignore tonight. We already
arrived
addressed
late.
your email.
We've already addressed this, Chris. We are not
your
ignoring
fault for
your
being late.
emails. We're going to read your emails next week. All right. So
Yeah.
sit
We got you,
back
babe.
and enjoy the show, brother.
Feel free to keep complaining.
All right, let's keep it
Superman and
moving.
radical honesty. All right. Superman, now publicly revealed as Clark Kent, which happened, has discovered a freedom and trust in this honesty. Petitions the Justice League to renounce secret identities. Okay. Many do not agree, especially Bruce, of course. This pressure eventually leads to a disbanding of the Justice League of America. John Kent is also miffed with his pops for inadvertently outing his identity and spends more time in the 31st century because of it with the Legion of Superheroes. So, how do you guys feel about him wanting the JLA to give up all their secret identities?
Yeah, I'll tell you
That
what.
doesn't seem like a Superman
Yeah,
move.
that's the only problem with it. I because I love the fact that he revealed his identity. I
Yeah,
thought
that's
it was dope. And
very Cal.
And he was like, "This is what I'm gonna do for me."
Yep.
The rest of y'all, like that very part, like him petitioning the Justice League to renounce the secret identities, that's weird.
Like, see, I can see he petitions them, and he's like, guys, I really think you should do this, right? I have had this moral epiphany. That's exactly what I expect Superman to do.
Yeah.
But
make his case.
when they don't do it, it's like, hey, he started it off. This is how they've been doing it. But that could have been an interesting question in the book if they're like, well, just because you decided now that this is the way to go, what makes it so? The JLA is always getting disbanded.
They're currently disbanded.
Yeah, that's an issue maybe where they're like, he's like, hey, you guys should do this, and Batman's like, no, and then Superman would be like, all right,
right.
But here, my only thing is the JLA as we understand it, because who knows what the iteration might have been in that world.
It's true.
But the JLA as we understand it, if Superman is the one that is giving up his identity, right? Then how many really of the rest of the JLA really have secret identities? Because Aquaman is he doesn't have, Wonder Woman doesn't have a secret identity.
Usually, yeah.
No,
she has and she does.
Sometimes she has. Sometimes
depends on who's writing her.
Yeah, it depends who's writing her. I'm not sure whether or not Green Lantern has a secret identity, but it certainly seems like a whole lot of people be hollering out Hal to him, despite the mask. Barry Allen.
They still got a secret identity.
Okay, he still has a secret identity. Elongated Man didn't. Hawkman doesn't.
Green
really.
Arrow.
Okay, I guess Green Arrow does.
Yeah.
All right, I guess maybe it's more than
maybe more than there used to be. Don't
enough that you would have that.
Yeah.
sort of,
Okay. The push and pull. All right, I give you that. Give you that.
Next up, Batman makes a deal. Joker War is something that still happens, but at the conclusion, Joker offers a worn down, grieving Batman a deal. Joker will kill Bane for him. You guys remember Bane snapped Alfred's neck.
Oh, that's right, and killed Alfred's
neck.
Yeah.
Right in front of Damian. Knowing he could never do it himself, in weakness, Bruce relents, and the Joker goes free to follow through with his end of the bargain.
Okay, this makes no
Classic
sense.
You
Batman.
can tell by the way I'm reading this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I disagree.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Batman would never
No.
ever be like,
that's wild.
sure, Joker.
These are all interesting Elseworlds, like
Yes.
you
Yeah.
said.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Fascinating
Yeah.
Elseworlds.
Yes.
I'd read all of them. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
no.
But yeah. That's a.
There's a definite edginess too. Like they were like, we gotta make things hard for the people of the DC universe, and that's what this is going to be about.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I would never see Batman making a deal with the Joker.
Not at
To
all.
kill
Especially
someone.
not to murder someone else.
Right.
If there was like
Right.
a deal of like, hey, maybe stop Joker gassing everyone and chill out. Maybe he'd make that deal. But not like, hey, go
Maybe.
murder someone for me.
To go murder, I don't know. But if we're gonna believe that Bane, at the height of his intelligence, because he's not like just a big dumb brute.
No, he's
right?
a smart dude.
Yeah.
So I could see him maybe becoming almost on the level of a Ra's al Ghul, right? And Batman, maybe even through Wayne Corporation or Bruce Wayne or whatever, make some type of deal with Deathstroke to take out Bane. Maybe you could write something that might convince me that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the Joker of it
Yeah.
that makes
Not
absolutely
the dude who beat his sidekick to death with a crowbar and then
Exactly.
Right.
blowed
Yeah,
his
you don't
head
make
off.
deals with that guy.
Yeah.
not the dude who wakes up on a Sunday morning and says and kills 20 people.
Yeah.
Right, because what was the other side of that deal? Like, just he gets to go free
Yeah,
forever, or
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Especially
Now, as
Yeah.
soon as you kill Bane, you gotta come.
Right. You can always trust
the
the Joker.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, especially since, going back to Jason Todd and how Joker beat him to death. Batman wanted to kill him then and didn't do it. He's not going to do it for a man who's in his 80s. Yeah. The old guy died.
Well, you never can say, right? Like Batman was able to resist that for Jason Todd at a different time in his life, and this
I
is
see.
later.
You're saying
Who knows?
Because of the Joker War has just happened and he's all worn down. You
Yeah,
think he might
could
be
be,
a
or
verge
who
of
knows?
cracking?
Much older, or who knows?
And who's to say which iteration of Batman, which Batman it is that makes this deal? Because from what I
No,
understand,
definitely says Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce.
Bruce relents.
Oh, that's a Bruce.
Yeah.
Who were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking because I had heard that he ultimately gives up the mantle
Mm-hmm.
to Lucius Fox. I mean, not Lucius
The
Fox.
whatever.
Jace?
Jace Fox.
Jace Fox.
In with the 5G world.
Okay.
Right.
See, I could. Okay.
Yeah, he would definitely do that.
He
yeah,
would do
yeah.
it.
Right.
I would do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's what
yeah.
I started thinking.
Yeah, he's like, wait, one less crazy person out here trying to. Okay, sure,
Sold.
go crazy.
Joker.
Yeah.
You know how many
Yeah.
people he's killed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, Superman's last days. Superman's power begins to fade. He decides to hand because he's old.
Because he's old.
He decides to hand over the mantle to his son John, and he and Lois retire to Africa, presumably to live in peace and focus on humanitarian efforts. I don't know if Lois and Clark would move to Africa. They would leave
Not a racist.
Gotham?
No, stop.
nice
no, I'm
white
kidding.
saviors moving to
Yeah. We need the Superman. Oh, thank you, Kalo. No.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
the accent.
No, it was bad.
Every like end of Superman thing that I've ever read, none of them have worked except for DC 1 Million.
Yes.
DC
Oh,
1 Million is still
DC
my
1
favorite.
Million.
The end of that was just
You didn't like
You
the
know
end of All-Star Superman?
Oh, that was good
I liked
too.
All-Star.
Although they are
No,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
play
for
into
me-
each other.
For me, the end of
Yeah.
All-Star Superman just continues
Leads
into
into
DC
DC
1
Okay,
Million.
okay.
That's all that is.
Wait, can I say a Superman thing for a second, right? On that
Please,
topic?
say one Superman thing.
I've thought it's interesting, right? In the 60s, we thought about sort of immortality and that kind of thing differently, I think.
Yeah.
And he gets older. His powers start to fade when you see him in the future. You see him as an old man. He's not alive much longer than like a normal human lifespan. Not that they ever really say. But then post-crisis, he's depowered, but his future changes.
Yeah.
And it tends to be that he just, as he absorbs more solar radiation,
Gets
he gets
stronger.
more and more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then ultimately you get DC 1 Million or that kind of thing. So the balance, and maybe also because we started thinking like, well, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Which
it's
I-
cool.
yeah, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always remember like the one little note that people forget from Kingdom Come is that in soaking up all this sun, he now basically is he's immune to kryptonite.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
To a
Yeah.
point.
was that
Yeah.
Kingdom Come?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
forgot
It's
about
just
that.
like a
Superman.
one line they throw it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we would see him, you wouldn't see him in the Legion of Superheroes time, right? And nobody thought to ask why.
Yeah.
But now you're like, we want to supply a reason.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Well-
like, did he go off venturing somewhere?
Do you remember
I
at
didn't think
the
of that.
end of Kingdom Come,
Mm-hmm.
like they show like all the stuff that's happening, and you see him.
He's
And
in- he's
kind of
like in
chilling,
the
he's got his-
31st
he's got
century.
His cape over his head. He's old at this point in the 31st century, but he's there.
Is that in Kingdom
Oh.
Come or in the Jeff Johns JSA Kingdom Come time? Did they do that in the actual
It is.
thing?
You know what?
The Legion of Five Worlds?
No, not Legion of Five
no.
Worlds.
Superman of Earth 2. Or Earth different. A
it's-
different Earth.
I think it was when he is comes in as part of the JSA for a second.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's the
okay.
end
Yeah.
there.
But it
Yeah,
was
that's right.
awesome. I
Yeah.
loved that scene.
That was
yeah.
so great. That was
So
so
wait,
great.
what was it in?
It was
JSA
in,
when Jeff
yeah.
Johns basically picks up the Superman from Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
He becomes a member of the JSA for a minute. Oh, you don't
Yeah.
you don't
Oh,
know?
it was
Oh, it's
great.
great.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
remember in Kingdom Come when the bomb explodes,
Yeah.
he blips out of time and comes back and is with the JSA for that
Yeah.
Oh, I'm into it.
for
Yeah.
about
It's
almost
cool.
like a year.
It was a while.
because
Yeah,
he
it was
fights
for a minute,
fights
yeah.
Gog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was on the JSA at the time. Or
That's
right?
right. He
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
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 I heard that. I have the omnibus of the first omnibus of JSA for Jeff Johns. I want to read it.
Oh, I got all
God.
for
Yeah.
it.
He's currently on JSA now. There's a brand new JSA book by
yes.
Jeff
Yeah.
Johns. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
8-Bit Beef says aloha. Jeremy Stucane says, sup y'all, love that new CultPop sign.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. JD made that.
I did.
Yeah.
I
And he
did.
needs
Really
a
cool.
name, ladies and gentlemen. So
That's true.
email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com and name our pop. He needs a name.
Little cult papa.
Doesn't he look so lovely?
Opera goes, sorry I'm late. Damn, what's up with Bane and his obsession with bone breaking?
I mean, when you're that big, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break
You
bones.
punch
Bat-
the heck out of people and break their bones.
Batman's last day. In shame, Bruce retires to England and begins to dismantle the Batman infrastructure and seek redemption.
Because everybody's going overseas in
Yeah.
their retirement.
They're getting out of here.
Yeah.
Well, and admittedly, I think wasn't Trump president when they were coming up with this?
That's really
Oh,
funny.
everyone wants to leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
like,
can't
I'm out.
stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lend a
out.
hand.
Nope.
We're
so-
leaving too.
If you guys remember the Batman the Detective miniseries that went
That
on,
was so good.
that took place during that time.
Okay.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
why
That's
he was
why-
in
Cool.
England.
It was
And then-
it was random and just
Yeah.
like why
Good,
is he
yeah.
here? But man, that was good.
Yeah.
Yo,
Oh.
Tom Taylor.
Opera Ghost says, name CultPop logo Poppy Papa.
Poppy Papa.
That's
Certainly
not
alliterative.
bad. I like Poppy Papa. All right. Bruce does not appear to name any official successor.
Oh.
So, changing of the guard. John is now the new Superman. Luke Fox, not Jace.
Oh,
as we
okay.
said
I
earlier.
know. I read it was like Luke. or
Takes
something.
over as the Batman on his own accord. Yara Flor, the Wonder Girl, takes over as Wonder Woman, who is still in the afterlife via death metal.
Although I was going to say, she wasn't dead, but that kind of
That's
is.
how the afterlife
Depends
works.
on how you get there.
You generally get there after your life. And Damien, feeling betrayed by his father, becomes the new head of Leviathan / League of Assassins. I could see him doing that. He's
Yeah.
always been on the,
Yeah,
on the
okay.
fence.
And
right?
you got like this generation Trinity book,
Yeah.
which is something they've never really done for long with the regular Trinity.
No.
I mean, there was a book. There was a weekly book called Trinity. Right?
There was.
It was like a year.
No, there were two.
Wasn't
there was the
very
Rebirth
good.
one. But
that's right.
Yeah, there was a
Oh,
Rebirth
there
Trinity,
was,
but
yeah.
there was a.
Neither of them
there
were
was,
great.
The weekly one, it was weird.
Yeah.
But the covers were amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
always
Kurt
about the
Busiek
cover.
and-
God, the cover
and
was
that
awesome.
is what led to Earth 1. And then when that ended, they just didn't talk about that anymore.
Oh.
They at the end of it, the three of them were like divine, and they created this new universe, and it was Earth 1.
Oh, I did not make it
And
that
then I think they were gonna, use that as a springboard for the
Yeah.
hardcover, the
That's
hardcovers.
cool.
Yeah,
And they
that's right.
didn't, and then they never really mentioned that.
Wow.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
A new Superman. John Kent is having to fight a never-ending war, as foretold in his time in the 31st century. Details unclear, but seems to be connected to his father. He is also in a relationship of sorts with Jenny Sparks of Wildstorm.
Oh, okay.
Who
That's
is
kinda
also
cool.
in the 31st century.
All right.
Well, Jenny Sparks is the personification of the millennium,
Right.
right? So she lives for maybe it's a
Right, because they changed. There was a
every
new
100
one.
years, maybe not.
I guess
millennium?
it's 100 years.
Yeah,
Is
Yeah.
it 100 years? She
Century.
becomes
Yeah.
it's a century.
Yeah, it's
Right.
Because she
Yeah.
was something, and then in 2000 she changed into,
She became a baby.
but
she
a
was
different
reborn.
name too, I think. Right?
Oh.
Jenny Quantum.
Jenny-
Yes.
yeah.
Right. So she would maybe have a different name, or they just go
Yeah.
back to Sparks.
Every
I don't
100
know,
years,
but-
she
yeah,
is
yeah,
reborn.
Yeah, reborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's
So
pretty
it
cool.
would make sense that she would be in the 31st century.
Okay.
That sounds like a Brian Michael Bendis thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Clark can't quit. Clark can't stop despite losing a lot of his power and is participating in / leading clandestine missions around the world with a newly formed authority,
Yes.
which Jenny Sparks is a member of. So there was a mini-series recently
Right.
last
Superman
year.
was-
Right.
yeah,
Superman and the Authority.
Yeah, by Grant Morrison.
Yeah, which
Right.
was
Read it?
really cool.
Was it?
I
Yeah.
haven't. I never got to it. but
It's
it looked
very,
cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
And it sort of leads to him that same group that he takes to Warworld. It's the
Mhm.
same group,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
And he's his powers are lessened and all that kind of stuff. So I this was essentially that story, and they were like, well, we're gonna put this out anyway because Grant Morrison was like, I'm putting this thing out anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
You paid me for it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And Michael Janet did the art. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so it kind of is that kind of leading into Warworld sort of thing, but it's dope. It's really, really dope.
All right.
And the title of that is Clark Can't Quit, or is this just
No.
No,
Oh,
he's
okay.
So Noel, thank you,
Okay.
Noel. Noel is out sick today. He's got a throat full of glass.
Can you
apparently.
imagine that?
But he made the notes for us, and he sort of like made these bullet points for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Right at the top,
the
like
next
romance
bullet
comic
point,
style.
New World's Finest. Meanwhile, Luke Fox Batman comes into direct conflict with Damian Wayne and Leviathan. He enlists the help of Superman, John, and which deepens Damian's feelings of betrayal. The new Batman and Superman thwart Leviathan and begin a new team.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I would read all of this as Elseworlds.
As
Yeah,
Elseworlds.
all of it. Yeah.
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 Elseworlds. Yeah.
If there was like an original graphic novel, like a big graphic novel that was these threads weaved together, and maybe some individual
All they need
stories.
to do is just do like Injustice. Just do a series.
Yeah.
of
Oh,
this-
yeah.
This universe.
That too,
Give
just
us-
a universe series.
Yes,
That would be
I would
cool.
give us the
Yeah.
I would read the 5G
Yeah.
universe. Justice Alliance. The partnership between Luke Fox and John Kent expands to a new group, the Justice Alliance, starring Joe Moline, John Kent, Luke Fox, Yara Flor, Aquawoman, and Jess Chambers. Basically, the future state Justice League team that we got recently. The good days of the Justice Alliance are short-lived. ... I want this team.
Who's Joe Moline?
I think we learned
Far
when
Sector.
Far Sector.
Joe Mullen.
Oh.
Remember we
Joe,
learned.
Joe Mullen.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. It's spelled Mullein.
I thought it was Mullane when I
Mullane.
first, like French kind of. But
Yeah. Where did we learn it was Joe Mullen?
We learned it. I
We
don't
learned it.
remember, but we
Okay,
were
cool.
we were pretty sure at the time because
Okay.
it was in the book or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Mullen. If you, quick
I
break.
forgot. Far
If
Sector.
y'all haven't read Far Sector by N.K. Jemisin
Oh, really good.
Get on
and
it.
Jamal
Yeah.
Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
Get on
that
it.
book, man.
Get on it.
It is an excellent
Beautiful.
12 issues.
What do you guys think of this
Yeah,
Justice
Upper-
Alliance?
Upper Go says, actually, it's John Mulaney. Good
That's
bit.
good too. I'd be
That's a
there for
good
that
bit.
too.
I
Good
like
bit,
that.
yes.
What's your question, bud?
With
The name Justice
the
Alliance.
name Justice Alliance. I
it's
gotta
a
tell you, I'm
little-
not.
some-
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
like very
Like, we need a-
1944 World War II.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
At least they were the good guys.
Yeah, it's true.
I was thinking it was more like 1990s DC Comics.
It's
You
Well, it's
know.
not
good.
Justice League Extreme.
It's not.
Extreme
Well, not.
Justice.
Yeah, Extreme Justice.
Oh, extreme.
Hey,
Oh.
good
Yeah,
guys.
but
is
it's not.
a bit
It's
of
not a good name
Yeah.
at all. It's weak. It's very weak.
What would you call them?
Yeah.
Would you keep calling them the JLA?
Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with the JLA.
Right.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like the JLA doesn't even seem like that great of a name.
No.
You
I've
could just
never
call them
liked-
the League. Now
The
that would
League-
be a cool
League-
name.
Well, the
The
League would
League.
be good. There's a
Yeah.
indie comic called The League, but yeah.
They're the Justice League. And people call them the League all the time
Yeah.
anyway. You know.
I will say that calling them JL doesn't work for me.
JL,
JLA.
no.
I've been
JLA
saying
works.
JLA for so long
Yeah,
that when they
that it
changed it
just
to
flows.
JL, I was like,
Yeah, I never said
No.
JL. Was
I don't like it.
was just-
I just felt like that was what was on the cover, not what it was
Yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
all right. The manhunt begins and ends. Joker reveals that he killed Bane for Batman and that Bruce Wayne is his true identity. Bruce Wayne is Joker's
Joker's-
true identity?
That's a shot. Like that one Elseworlds.
Was
Where,
there?
yeah, it was like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
he turned out to be both Batman
God
and the
damn it.
Joker.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't
geez.
read that. That's cool.
Well, I won't tell you the title, so it's not a spoiler.
Okay, thanks.
yeah.
A manhunt
never
for
find
Bruce
it.
begins, including by the current Batman and Justice Alliance, and ends very quick. I don't know how I'm so close to this microphone, Terry. And ends very quick. I'm being off-camera abused. And ends very quickly as Bruce turns himself in to stand trial. He's quickly found guilty.
His
yeah.
trial for
yeah.
what? Wait, no. His trial for what?
For
being Batman.
Yeah,
well,
for
Oh,
first
being
of all, for being a
Batman.
vigilante.
Okay.
But also
But then
for
also hiring the Joker
hiring
to
the Joker
murder
to kill
somebody.
Bane. Yeah,
The
yeah,
thing-
yeah,
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The star witness
Mm.
is the Joker.
yeah.
This
Not really
makes
that
no
believable.
sense.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. He's never told us
Bat-
wrong before.
Yeah, Batman can
Yeah.
just be like, no.
Yeah, you know who this is, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
that
It's
guy
Bruce
right there.
Wayne.
I'm Bruce Wayne. That guy.
Yeah.
This is that. I'm
At
sorry.
least everybody in here knows somebody he murdered. So,
Well, it may be that Joker reveals it, and then Bruce doesn't want to lie about it.
That's
yeah,
true.
You know,
yeah,
He
yeah.
may just
he
be
very
like-
quickly turns himself in to stand trial.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, all right, I did it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I
You're
did
right.
it.
All
I
right.
did it. What do you want to do?
I mean, all he did was not vigilante capture somebody.
Yeah.
And,
True.
you know,
Very true.
he really wasn't supposed to be doing that anyway.
So Noel was reading these to me at the shop the other day, and when we started, I was like, "Yeah, oh, I like this, I like this." But then as we kept going,
No.
I started being like, what, why,
You're starting to see
What?
maybe why they.
why they
Didn't do
changed it?
Yeah.
Let's continue. Superman versus Superman. Clark takes the authority public and decides that the Batman should not be judged by normal law. Let's just let that
Yeah.
sit for a minute.
Very Superman.
And then breaks him out, breaks Batman out of jail. John does not agree and comes to blows with his father and team, which includes Jenny Sparks. It's stuff like this where I'm like, this is
right.
nonsense.
And this makes no sense based on the Superman that they just said earlier. Felt we need to be honest and give our
Right.
identities to
Yep.
the world.
And now he's with the authority. Now, we don't know. These are bullet points, and I'm being very charitable here.
Yeah.
They might have woven the story that, like, his time doing clandestine missions and trying to help
Has
people
changed
out.
his
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
right.
would have read all of this. I would have
Yeah.
read all of it.
Would have read it, sure.
I just
course.
wouldn't buy it as our Superman.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Are you
I
saying you
but
would have read this as the DC universe?
probably. I'm
what
simple.
Well,
that
first
way.
of all, you
would
would have
have
no
read
other
it.
simple
choice.
that
But
way.
would you have been
Right.
into it? Does it sound like something you're into? Clark?
I
Superman breaking Batman out.
I could. I because I think a lot of it depends on who's writing it, and I think that Matt Fraction could, like you were saying, like,
Yeah.
all right, he's doing all this clandestine stuff, and he's like, why was I like, starting to see a little bit of Batman's point, a little like, maybe he wasn't the wrongest about all. Maybe
Okay.
he wasn't the wrongest.
The only reason why I would still bump up against that is because we got to remember, even though he probably doesn't age as much as we do, this is still an older,
you're right. Yeah,
older
I dig
Superman.
it. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig
Like
that.
maybe like a middle-aged Superman, you're you're changing your MO. Older Superman, you're kind of starting to get set in your ways, which is why it doesn't make any sense for Batman, old Batman, all of a sudden like switch like that for the Joker, like for somebody else maybe.
Also, did we was there a connecting tissue there between Superman retiring to Africa and then doing clandestine missions?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would imagine there has to be something in there. You know what I mean? Where as he's chilling, doing his thing, and he's still got enough power to kind of do a little bit here and there, and he's like, well, wait, I can't. Maybe I want to do a little bit of this, but I can't do that. All right, well, maybe let me go call Apollo at midnight and see what these guys are up to. We'll have them get into some of this madness, and maybe that's where you start to see that switch. I don't know.
And right now, I'm sorry, I'm bumping up a little bit against this Superman going to Africa to do humanitarian missions in what maybe is 2023 in this world, or maybe near future in this world. So in that world, they can't see that Africa maybe doesn't need Superman. Maybe it's like they haven't maybe uplifted themselves a little bit. So I'm bumping up against that a little bit as well. So,
Well, I mean, again, you're dealing, and I hate to say this, but you're dealing with a room full of white guys
I hear
telling you the stories, and it's like, oh, well,
yeah,
Where needs help?
Yeah.
yeah, well,
this whole continent right here.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I think everywhere could use Superman, but
Yeah,
why would
right.
they pick that place?
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
I remember they did that in Justice, didn't they? Not Injustice. In a book called Justice.
Yeah, in the book Justice,
where
the
Superman,
Alex Ross stuff,
Rothschild,
yeah.
and he tried to bring food, a lot more food, and
Yeah, but he was going to places that needed hunger. He wasn't necessarily just saying, "I'm going to Africa needs me." Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is very weird.
strange. Yeah. Superman and Batman versus the DC universe. This is where it gets bonkers. The DC universe is forced to choose who they agree with, historical or legacy heroes. Pick a side. Sound familiar? Civil War, Marvel.
Yeah.
During this conflict,
Sound
Superman.
familiar? Kingdom Come?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Superman undergoes a procedure intended to return him to full strength,
Huh.
but it works so well that his energy continues to grow exponentially. Sound familiar?
that happened a
Electric
couple
Blue
times.
Superman?
Yeah.
And threaten all life on Earth, which we learned is what was foretold in the 31st century.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
I don't know why, for some reason, because I did read this earlier, and in my mind, I saw Superman as Godzilla just rampaging through.
That's why he goes to Africa.
yeah.
There's more space there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More fields for stomping and clomping. The death of Superman and Batman, Bruce sacrificed himself to stop the growing threat of Superman's power with knowledge of the future from John, and the planet is saved. Oh.
No.
Both Clark, Superman, and Bruce Batman die, and the Justice Alliance are now the 5th generation of DC superheroes.
So how long was this supposed to take to? Because that's what it was all building to, right?
5G. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Clark Kent Superman stories would continue to be told in DC Black Label, DC Inc., Elseworlds, and other publishing outside of main continuity. That would be cool. I'm into that as well. You can give us our aged up characters. We can give us our legacy alliance justice. And we could still get the characters that we're used to in Black Label.
You could
I
also
think it's
do
cool.
it the other way, right? Where you've got this stuff is Black Label or Elseworlds.
Yes.
And
this
you've got-
entire thing could be Black Label.
Exactly.
Right.
I would
Right.
read all this in Elseworlds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then you get rid of Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can bring in Damian or Luke or John or anybody you
Yara.
want, right?
Yeah.
And you've gotten rid of Superman and Batman. You know what I mean? That can be cool for a while, for a long time.
Yeah.
But
Eventually, they got to come back.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
This takes us to around 2025. It answers your question.
Well.
Yeah. The deaths of Superman and Batman were meant to be the assessment deadline in DC publishing.
Right.
If new continuity was deemed successful, it would continue for the time being. If not, a mysterious continuity reset button built into the plot of the death of Superman and Batman would have returned the original Trinity.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're good at that. They're really good at that.
They've gotten good at it.
The greatest reset button of all time was Comedian's button.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The greatest reset button ever.
That was cool.
And your man Jeff was like, all right, just in case this sucks, stick that there real quick.
Yeah.
Just gonna stick that right there. All right, cool. Go ahead, do what you're gonna do.
I love Doomsday Clock.
Me too.
Me
Yeah.
So we actually have an email from Noel,
Oh.
our co-host who is sick, but because we didn't read Christopher's, we're not going to read Noel's. No, we'll read Noel's next
There
week.
it is. Done.
Is
So
that
are
it?
we done?
Well, I mean, I've been up to some stuff.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey, Brian,
Hey, what is it?
I have one question.
What is that question?
What you been up to this week?
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
I really, I'm glad you asked because
Oh,
I wanted
good.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I watched the season 3, third season of Love, Death plus Robots.
Oh, I
Love
haven't-
plus death plus robots.
I think that is not how it is presented.
It's love, death plus robots?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
I always
bullshit.
Love,
say
Death, and Robots.
Love,
Love,
death,
Death,
robots.
Robots.
Yeah, yeah.
Love, Death, Robots also good, right? Just it's got a plus sign. Take it into your mind the way that you want to.
Yeah.
You're such a leap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just leave it all over the place.
All around.
Little leapfrog.
So, I watched season 1 and 2 a while ago, and season 3 came out, and I didn't get to it, right? And I kept forgetting that it existed. So, it was great. No episode of this show is bad, right?
Well, I've seen the first season.
Yeah, okay. And some of them are fantastic,
Yes.
right? So this one was very similar. There were some really cool stuff. There was one in particular, mind-bogglingly awesome, right? I mean, that's kind of overselling it. The one that looked like Mobius. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm watching this thing, and it's like, oh, this looks like the artist Mobius,
Yeah.
animated.
He's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's not him. It's just done in that style, like to a T, spot on.
Mhm.
And it gets to be, it's this story that looks like kind of grounded, and I was a little like, oh, they're doing Mobius's art style, but it's a little grounded. Yoda's not grounded.
Okay.
Yeah, it grows into like a full embracing of
The style.
what he style can do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Do you
Now
remember the episode name?
that was the very pulse of the machine.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is this an animated thing?
yeah.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh.
never saw Love, Death, and Robots?
Oh,
There's
it's
some
cool.
really good
Oh,
ones.
dude,
It's-
on Netflix.
Each episode is
A short story.
yeah.
It's an anthology.
Some of them are based on pre-existing like short stories, and I think some of them are just completely new.
New stories,
Yeah.
but it's all different animated style, and they're
Yeah.
usually like a computer animated. It's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
not
Are they-
2D.
Are they different animation studios,
Yes.
a la Star
Yes.
Wars, Ronin,
Mhm.
or
Yeah, all different studios.
What was
Star
What was
Wars
that?
Tales.
Now the Mobius
No.
one is 2D. It's hand drawn. It looks. I mean,
Oh, that's
you know,
right.
Whatever
That's-
it is.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
cool. And there's some of them are very serious. Some of them are gory. Some of them are like
Just
short and funny.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's not a bad episode in the bunch, and some of them are real gems. There's a really good one in season 1. That's the woman who sees herself getting killed and is
So
running
cool.
from that.
is that the one where she's topless the entire time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. it
That was
was
good. That was
It
really good. That was really good.
And they start more like there's more robots in the beginning, and then it kind of branches out into it's like
Love and
very
death.
sci-fi and love and death,
Yeah, yeah.
and a little bit of fantasy in there. The one where the robot gains his sentience over the eons from season 1.
Oh
With
yeah.
the pool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mm.
I don't know the titles of those, but the very pulse of the machine is the Mobius one.
Yeah, you should
check
check
it
it
out.
out, Randy.
Nice.
I think you would like it.
Yeah.
Len, my question for you is, what you been up to this week? Huh?
I have been pondering because we are noted, Philadelphia, as the city of cheesesteaks.
Yes.
But I've been pondering. The Super Bowl is happening, as you can see upon Randy adorned around his neck. The Philadelphia Eagles will be playing in the Super Bowl, which means that there will be Super Bowl parties aplenty here in Philadelphia, including at my sister's. Right? Mm-hmm. We're not getting cheesesteaks because cheesesteaks can't like sit around while people.
Yeah.
So we're getting hoagies, another Philadelphia staple.
Yeah.
What is the Philadelphia hoagie? What is the staple hoagie? You know, that was is it an Italian hoagie? There are people that like turkey hoagies, but that doesn't seem like it should be the staple.
Italian hoagie seems like the most hoagie.
To me too,
Italian's your base hoagie, right?
Right.
I would think so.
Yeah, but
I like a turkey hoagie, but I think Italian hoagie is like the hoagie.
I mean, I'm only doing an Italian hoagie if you're not doing pork products, right? If you're doing multiple meats like you usually have on an Italian hoagie, I'm gonna need beef bologna and turkey ham because I don't eat pork, right?
Oh,
and it's a whole lot of black folks in Philly that don't eat pork.
You're absolutely right.
It can't be unless you're doing it like that. If that's gonna be your Italian hoagie with everything else on it. And flipping the various
my thing about those substitutes, it's not Italian anymore. Like to me, an Italian hoagie has to be the actual Italian meats,
right?
You know what I mean?
Well,
with the provolone cheese.
Then that means a good third of the city ain't eating it.
I don't know about a good third of the city.
How many Muslims you know in Philly?
Okay, that ain't a third of the city.
How many?
And even Muslims ain't Muslim on Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. I do know a couple of bacon eating my ass balls, but I think it's got to be a little bit broader, right? Because the Italian hoagie is so very limited.
So then, is the Philadelphia hoagie turkey and cheese, or is it ham and cheese? Ham, turkey, and cheese, because they do that too.
Yeah.
I have had
when I used to eat pork, ham, turkey, cheese, lettuce, tomato,
onions,
a little bit of onions,
and I like sweet peppers.
Sweet peppers.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
And a little bit of oil. Can't do mayo.
I'm
Not a mayo guy. So
I would be fine actually if you get the cheesesteak with cheese whiz and just pop it in the oven for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what I would do.
No.
You don't want to do that?
No.
I'm not a big hoagie guy.
You're a
whiz
guy?
Of course I'm a whiz guy.
No.
Wait, hang on a second.
His nickname is the Whiz Kid.
It is?
Now,
they were talking to me?
all that time? Wow. All right.
I've been ignoring all those texts.
I owe 1,000 apologies.
I'm very sorry.
If it ain't provolone, if it's not at least provolone.
Or at least it's got to be cheese. I don't like cheese whiz.
That's fair. That's fair. What about a cheese sauce? Like a white cheese sauce?
White cheese sauce. Man, that's some artesian bullshit. That's not a cheese steak.
Artisanal.
That is not a
Here's
cheese
the
steak.
thing. If I'm not going to put cheese whiz on, which I actually didn't learn about until I was a little older, I'm an American cheese guy. I like American cheese.
I like American cheese too,
Yeah,
and I like some Whiz Wit, man.
Me too.
When I used to go to Gino's before they became pieces of shit, I used to He wants to come in. You got something to say about hoagies?
No, he doesn't eat hoagies.
Oh, yeah. When I used to go to Gino's, Whiz Wit, man. Oh, I loved it.
Where do you go now? If you had your pleasure.
Okay, where do you go for your cheesesteaks? Where do you go for your hoagies?
Hoagies. I get the Diablo turkey from Primos.
That Primos is good.
Primos
is really good.
Yeah, they got that
Really
spicy.
Primos is good.
And for I've been trying. Listen, ever since Gino's became pieces of shit, I've been trying to find the perfect cheesesteak, and I'm still scouting. I went to the one I really liked recently was Chubby's.
Chubby's is dope.
Chubby's is dope.
I tried the place across the street.
Delisandro's. You like Delisandro's?
Delisandro's, yeah.
Delisandro's is really good.
They ain't got French fries.
But that's their whole deal.
Right.
Like it's cash only, no fries.
I'll give you cash for fries, bro.
Why don't you get some fries
Dude,
from
Delisandro
from Chubby's?
Sure.
And then walk. Yeah.
Try Fiesta's up the street. Fiesta's got good
Fiesta
cheesesteak.
good?
Yeah,
and nobody's there.
So
I rep Fiesta.
8-bit
That's a
beef
good
is
sign.
in the chat saying the Philadelphia hoagie is cigarettes and cheese whiz.
Yo, 8-bit. Like, nah, don't even come like that. I don't want to hear that. That's disgusting. That's wrong. That's foul.
Robert Monroe asks, "Is cheese whiz on hoagies a Philly thing?"
No, we're talking
No,
about
we
that's
jumped
on
to
cheesesteaks.
cheesesteaks. We jumped to
You don't put
cheesesteaks.
cheese whiz on a hoagie. You
Sorry,
only put
Rob.
it on cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn down trying it, but I'm not sure how.
I'll tell you what I do like though, and I don't. Is it called a cheesesteak hoagie? Where you get the cheese and the meat, and then you
Yes.
get lettuce, tomatoes.
Yes.
Yo,
Exactly a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
that's my cheesesteak. I like
That's
that.
all it is.
Jim's is also really good.
Jim's.
When they put it back
Good.
together,
Yeah,
it burned down.
Yeah, down on South.
Max's. Max's
Max's
on
is
Max?
dope.
Erie Avenue.
Oh, I don't know Max.
Broad
Oh
Erie
yeah,
area.
Max's is that work.
Oh.
Ishka on South Street.
Ishka Bibbles on South.
Bibbles, I
Especially
think the
around
little-
around
I
2
like
in the
the
morning.
I like the chicken cheesesteak.
The two
I like the
2 in the
chicken
morning
cheesesteak.
Ishka Bibbles.
The chicken
That's good.
cheesesteaks are
The
good.
chicken
though.
cheesesteaks
Barry
are
Steaks
dope.
says Dane Zanowski, which are also really good.
With Provi.
Yeah,
Barry
yeah.
That's not my
steaks with
thing, but
provolone.
They got
Yeah.
like a lot of cheeses.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a
Alright.
pizza steak guy.
Okay.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
a pizza
man.
steak guy. Little pizza
Little
sauce.
red sauce.
Yeah, man. And then if you do it right, usually most places will do provolone, but every now and again you'll find a spot that'll do mozzarella.
Oh.
That's
Yo.
true.
Mozzarella
That is
and-
very
and
true.
Mozzarella's my
sauce with
cheese.
Pizza,
I like
oh
Yeah,
man,
that's
Yeah.
true.
that right
That's
there.
I like mozzarella fries.
Oh, say
It's just-
word.
Ba-bam.
I'll tell you. Is
After
it,
about 30 seconds, it just becomes one giant clump.
It
and
It
you
does,
just,
and you just lift it up.
There you go. There you go.
you have to use your jaw and just clam it down. Go ahead. Sorry, Brian.
Oh.
It means, I'm sorry. We're on the show. I thought you wanted to say something on the show.
Yeah, well, we were talking about like the switch out the meat for some pepperoni. You got yourself a pizza hoagie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I like those too.
I
Yeah.
do it. I'll let me some pep. I've only had I only had real cheese on a cheesesteak. All right there, Mr. Mansion
Well,
owner.
I mean, it is not spelled anywhere close to cheese. So,
That's-
Yeah,
it's
right.
But
Yeah,
C-H-E-E-Z?
they're not lying.
Robert Monroe Jr., I mean, just check it out if you're so inclined. And let us
No.
know what you think.
Don't.
He might be so inclined.
It's good.
You are not inclined.
He-
Uh,
you don't know his inclination.
so before we split, Randy,
You.
you ask.
Hey, Randy, I have a question for you.
You.
What you been up to this week, huh? I fucked you up. Good.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm still like it's 2 weeks into the Super Bowl, and I'm just waiting for that. And getting ready for a show. I got a show in Owensboro, Kentucky.
What,
That's a made-up
show
place.
with what? What group?
Gangsta Grass is doing
Oh, yeah.
a show in Owensboro, Kentucky. Funny story.
I love
Owensboro,
those.
Kentucky, the birthplace of bluegrass, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And so the venue, the River Park Center, they were like, "Yeah, we want you to come down." They post a thing on their social media, blah blah blah, and they start getting all these comments. You're like, "Wait a minute, what are you doing, bringing all this hippity hoppity into our blue? What are you doing?" So Wrench, our commander in chief of Gangsta Grass, puts this thing out there. He's like, "Well, guess what? The racists are being racist, so we want everybody to come
Come
to the show.
through that
We
joint.
want so we're trying
Yeah.
to get the whole world. That's been my thing for the whole week, just trying to get everybody that's in like anywhere near Owensboro, Kentucky, which is right near Indiana, and it's right near there's spots of Tennessee,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the middle
yeah.
of Kentucky. Like, if you can make it, come to the Gangsta Grass show Saturday, the 11th, Owensboro, Kentucky, at the River Park Center. It's going to be bananas, and that's all we've been doing press for it and all that kind of
Nice.
stuff, and and I'm actually after the show, the band they're going to hang out in Nashville and do some recording, but I'm getting on the plane, coming right back here to Philly for the game.
That's awesome.
That's right, because you're coming to my spot.
Yes, sir. You got to send me that address. Yep.
I got you.
8-Bit Beef says, worst airport ever, Owensboro.
Is it really? Oh, that'll be fun.
Mm.
Why do you know where the Owensboro? That's amazing that you know that
Yeah.
there's an airport. I didn't know there was even one there. And I
You
looked
know
it
what?
up, I
Because
was
he's
like,
one of the
"Seems-
racists who's going to be there.
He's waiting there for you.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing his research.
It does seem
I-
like a strange town to have an airport, right? I don't know anything about Owensboro.
No,
but-
I didn't. I was
Yeah.
like, "There's an airport there." Okay, cool. And I'm in the mood for some. I haven't experienced any really good chef's kiss racism in a while,
Oh.
so I want some. There's
Okay.
supposed to be protests about some stuff. and
What?
I'm like,
Really?
Yeah,
What are
give me
they
all of it.
protesting?
I
What are
don't
they-
know.
Uh,
Dude, well, so this place, the River Park Center, they did a drag show a few months ago, and
So
so
they're
this,
already-
yeah.
Oh,
So,
they're
yeah.
already fired
So,
up.
So,
it
yeah,
is,
so
right.
people's, so
Right.
apparently, yes,
Yeah.
their hackles are
Right.
hackling, and I
Hackles
can't
do be
wait.
hackling.
I cannot wait. I haven't experienced any really good quality.
Yeah.
Just,
Ah,
give me
yeah.
some of that racism. There's I'm actually reading a piece that we're gonna put out next month, about some racism that I'm very excited about. Very
yeah?
excited about. Oh, dude, I love some good old fashioned racism.
8-Bit Beef comments, racist airlines, not just our planes are white. Well done, 8-Bit. Oh, speaking of this thing with the pigskin,
The Eagles.
I design and print shirts, and I meant to bring some with me to show y'all, and I forgot. I was all flustered. We had to anyway.
Yeah. I wonder if it's in like the chat or something. If we could throw it up on screen.
Maybe producer Terry, if
Possibly.
you could find some pictures of my T-shirts. It says "fuck around and find out," but with a PH because it's from Philly. Get it? And it's got swoop in the background.
Swoop.
Also because we're dumb as hell and we keep climbing greasy poles. I have another shirt that's swoop hanging on he's climbing the greased pole. And it says, the Super Bowl 2023. Also another one that says it's a Philly thing. So if you're into any of that stuff, go to johnnydestructo.com, which takes you to my Etsy, or hit me up wherever on the internet. I'll find me, and we can do Venmo, PayPal. I'll make you a shirt or a hoodie, and I'll send it to you, hopefully in time for the Super Bowl.
Didn't you guys remember Poochie?
Yeah.
My
From
man
The Simpsons.
Reef, shout out to Reef the Lost Cause. He was saying that like when it's the Philly thing like just sort of took off out there, like that's how he imagined it. He was like, he said it felt kind of fake.
Yeah.
Right. Even though like Jalen Hurts just sort of said it in the moment. Right?
Yeah.
And then everybody just sort of jumped on it. And I was like, yeah, like as soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, this feels kind of Poochie-ish. He was like, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Nice.
Well, I was like, yeah.
Eat
all
my
right.
shorts.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like,
can
it's
we,
a Philly thing. All right.
Yeah. I like fuck around and find out.
Yeah, fuck around and find
Yeah,
out.
that's-
With
that's-
the
that's
PH,
a more-
that is.
You can write it anywhere.
Is that
Nobody knows.
racism
No,
or?
that's just Chef Kiss Philly madness. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's our show.
Oh God,
Yeah.
things are moving. Oh,
We did it.
What?
We did
We're
it.
going to be doing Supergirl, which is actually just called Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to find it.
I thought it was called Supergirl
Yeah.
and the Legion of
Takes
Superheroes.
you a little bit longer if you type
Yeah.
in Supergirl, but it does
So-
come up.
Yeah. So this time next,
Yeah.
well, not this time, but 8 o'clock
Yeah.
next Wednesday, we're going to be talking about Legion of Superheroes, the new animated feature from DC Animation.
The
DC
people that
Studios.
make those.
The people
Yeah,
that
yeah.
draw the
Warner Brothers?
movies.
But I think
Warner
the
Brothers,
call
yeah.
themselves officially DC Studios now.
Is that right? Yeah.
But it's basically a Supergirl movie that happens to have also the Legion. Noel and I watched it yesterday, and it was delightful. So
Yeah.
Oh, good.
watch it out
Yeah.
and
Looking
join
forward
us
to
here
doing that.
next week. Also, we've been doing Thunder Rounds,
Thunder
Thunder
Round.
Rounds.
which you can find on. We have a TikTok now. You can
TikToking.
CultPop Go.
They didn't pay for that.
On TikTok and on YouTube and
Ignore
Facebook
me.
and Instagram and Twitter. We have
Or
Twitter.
banks.
Anyway, join us wherever you want to do that. Like, comment, subscribe. He's really, really wants to get in here.
There it is.
There you go.
Yes.
Nice. You got anything you want to say?
Go bird.
Go Bird.
Cool.
Nice. Anything else? Oh, where can people find you, Randy?
Anywhere on the internet that you put in the word Gangstagrass, all one word, you can find us. You can find me at Our Son, the Voice of Reason. And yeah, slap
Is
that
it-
in your internet.
Is it Gangster?
Gangsta Grass.
Gangsta.
All one word.
Grace.
Duh.
Brian,
Hey.
You too.
Hi.
hi. Where can we find you?
I'm around. I'm at BrianLeaveDesign.com
Mhm.
and other places physically.
Nice. Len.
Hey, you can find me on my other podcast, The Michaud Mission, which will actually in March be moving here to Manny Young Studios. We're going to be neighbors.
Very cool.
Philadelphia's premier podcasting. I mean, we're going to be neighbors because you all live here. So
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
now spell Michelle for the people.
Well, Michelle is spelled M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E.
No, Michelle, I
Hey,
said.
related question.
yeah.
CHESHOW.
Oh, that's not what
Nope.
it spells
So
anything.
What'd that spell?
The Michaud Mission is spelled M-I-C-H-E-A-U-X.
There it is.
M-I-S-S-I-O-N. Check us
All
out.
right.
Every place you find podcasts.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next time.
Ta-ta! Get well,
Bye.
Noel.
Peace.